Hey, it's Dr. Eric Shoemake, and I want to tell you about our brand new workshop coming up here called Younger Tomorrow. It's going to be Saturday, April 12th from 10 to 11:30, and this is going to be a blockbuster because there's so many people right now that are concerned about their health and longevity moving forward, especially when it comes to things like dementia, Alzheimer's, heart disease, cancer. And we're going to show you how you can make your body younger. You can actually, it's called your biological age, and things you can do to affect your biological age to be younger than your actual chronological age. When I was growing up, I watched my grandmother, great grandmother, grandfather all deal with dementia, all die from Alzheimer's, and it was so much due to lifestyle. So, we're going to show you how you can feel better, look younger, feel younger, think better. So, if you're having that cognitive decline, if you're having the senior moments, we're going to show you what to do about that. So, I really want to stress something here on what you need to look at when it comes to how old you feel. And a lot of people think that it's just going to be your genetics, but it's not. So again, I have a lot of Alzheimer's and those things in my family. But it's when it comes to your biological age, not your chronological age, 20% of it is genetics, 80% of it is your lifestyle. So I know I have these quote unquote bad genes. I better make sure my lifestyle is dialed in because lifestyle trumps genetics. You can actually turn off bad genes with good lifestyle. And there's a specific gene called ApoE4, which I'm going to show you in a minute. But the point is you can reverse and be younger biologically than you are chronologically. So one of the things we're going to teach you at this workshop, we're going to show you coming up in the office, we're going to actually be measuring your actual real age or your biological age. There's a machine called the eVolt that we're going to give you access to. Like a good example is this guy right here. He's 64 years old, but his bio age, his biological age is only 53, which means his organs, his brain, all of those things look like somebody who's 53. That's what you want. So again, there's genetic components to this. Like there's one called ApoE4. And this is the strongest indicator for Alzheimer's disease when it comes to genetics, ApoE4. I actually was tested for this, and I have an ApoE4 gene mutation, which increases my risk of Alzheimer's and dementia. So, very, very important to understand that. And I can show you how you can get tested for this if you want to. But I think a good thing would just assume that you have the gene. But here's what's really important about this gene. This gene can get switched on or switched off based on good or bad lifestyle choices. So there are things that you can do to reverse any type of effect that the ApoE4 gene is going to have on you. So we're going to talk about things like choline. We're going to talk about magnesium. We're going to talk about the right type of exercise. We're going to talk about how to sleep properly, how to reduce your glycemic load. One of the big things that turns off ApoE4 is a good diet. So an anti-inflammatory, low glycemic diet, which I'm going to be teaching you at this workshop coming up here. So if you have this gene, like a lot of people do, about 25% of people carry one copy, and then another two or three carry two copies. So one in four people watching this, you have this gene, and that's just one of the predictors of Alzheimer's and dementia. We could teach you how to turn that gene off and minimize the effects that it has on your body and your future, which is absolutely huge. We have more memory care nursing homes than ever before going up around here, and it's largely because of our lifestyle. So what we're going to be teaching you at this event that you do not want to miss, it's going to be April 12th from 11 or 10 o'clock to 11 a.m. at the Smoky Hill Library, where we have most of our events. And we're gonna give you cutting edge insights on longevity, on how to the science has come a long way. I've done so much research on this in the last 5 years and especially in the last year. So brand new stuff I haven't taught before. So we're going to show you how to activate your natural longevity pathways. You have pathways naturally inside you that want you to be younger and live a long, healthy life. You have to activate those pathways again through very specific things. So we're going to talk about diet. We're going to talk about supplementation. We're going to talk about your gut and gut brain. I'm going to show you that in a couple of minutes here. How your gut actually affects your brain is a really big part of that. So we're going to show you how to sleep, exercise, reduce stress. Stress has been shown to age your brain very quickly because of a hormone called cortisol. So how to decrease those things and largely increase your sleep. How to eat for lifelong health and longevity. So how you can eat better, lower your glycemic index, lower your blood sugar because that's a big impact for your gut and your brain health. And then choose the right supplements. So I'm going to really dive into these. And this, again, things that I haven't talked about or really offered before, but how things like a certain type of magnesium, a very specific type of magnesium chelate, can decrease the age of your brain and increase function of your brain. It protects your brain against overstimulation. How you can take care of your gut specifically, because if you have something called leaky gut, that affects your blood-brain barrier and your entire body. So we're going to show you the right supplements to do and actually give you a whole protocol for that. That's going to be coming up Saturday, April 12th from 10 to 11:30 a.m. And I really want you to think about bringing someone to this. Like our mission is that you end up on the cruise ship, not the nursing home. That's the title of my book that I wrote, Cruise Ship or Nursing Home, because we want you to end up on the cruise ship. But I don't want you to end up there alone. I want you to end up there with the people that you love and care about, because this life isn't worth anything without those people. So we want those people there with you. So think about the people you want to end up on the cruise ship with you and bring them with you to this event. We're also going to discuss something really specific, a toxin that damages your body and causes you to age a lot quicker, called glyphosate, and it's in everything. Okay, so we're going to show you where it is and how to avoid it. But Monsanto created this monster and started spraying this on crops, just a crazy amount of crops starting in about in the mid 90s. They kind of got carte blanche to spray this everywhere. So this overlay right here is looking at the number of deaths from Parkinson's disease, which has risen dramatically since that mid 90s mark. So something happened in the mid 90s that caused this to happen. So you'll see, like right here, right in this area right here, if you look at what should have happened with Parkinson's disease, it should have gone up along this green line right here. So this is where we should be right now. And this was even in 2010. It's even higher than that now. But the glyphosate spray on crops is this line right here, right? This one. So you can see it almost mimics the rise in death. And then percent of genetically engineered corn and soy, which means it's been sprayed with glyphosate, is this blue line right here. Well, what do you notice about the blue line? When they started spraying more of this stuff on crops, what happened? More people started dying of Parkinson's disease. And you can overlay this with Alzheimer's, with autism spectrum disorders, which is happening to our kids left and right. So if you want to protect your kids, we're going to show you how to do that as well. And this all has to do with a couple of very specific toxins. So there's four toxins that I'm going to teach you how to avoid when it comes to your brain and your gut. So that's going to be really important as well. Okay, so I've been talking a lot about the gut, and the reason I'm talking about the gut is because your gut affects your brain dramatically. Your gut that's where you make most of the serotonin in your body. And what makes you happy and what makes you focused is something called serotonin. The reason we have so much anxiety and depression right now in our country is because we have an assault on our serotonin levels. That's why so many people are on antidepressants. So many kids right now are anxious. I talked to my daughter when she was I think she was a freshman in high school. And I said, hey, what do you guys talk about when you're sitting around at lunch? I was just curious. And she's like, everybody talks about their anxiety. And that just made me sad. I'm like, this is a bunch of 14, 15, 16-year-olds, and the only thing they're talking about is how anxious they are. So much of that is this assault on the gut and the brain, because of the serotonin levels. So there's something called leaky gut, and we're going to spend a lot of time on this at the workshop. Leaky gut affects so many things in your body. And somebody asked me, Amy actually asked me in the office, she's like, how do you know if you have a leaky gut? I said, you do. If you live in the United States and you're subject to the food supply that we're subject to and the other stuff that's going on, you probably do have a leaky gut. But there's very specific symptoms of leaky gut that I'll go through. So things like nutrient malabsorption. So if you have like upset stomach or you don't absorb nutrients well, you're bloated after you eat, that's a sign of leaky gut. Autoimmunity down here at the bottom. So things like fibromyalgia, lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, those are signs of leaky gut, and I'll show you why in a minute. Food intolerances. So if you eat certain things and it messes up your gut and you can't figure out why, gluten, things like that, that's a sign of leaky gut. Blood-brain barrier breach. This is a really big one. It allows things to get into your brain that shouldn't. So we're talking about depression, insomnia, sleep problems. All of those are symptoms of leaky gut. And then systemic inflammation, one of the big things with systemic inflammation would be like joint pain. So if you're sore all over, if you have joint pain that you can't quite, understand. Another systemic inflammation thing would be brain fog. So brain fog, dementia, memory issues because your brain gets inflamed. All of those are symptoms of leaky gut. And what happens in leaky gut is the way this should happen. This is the inside of your digestional tract right here. You have these things called tight junctions. Okay. Tight junctions keep out the stuff out of the blood. This is the bloodstream right here. This red thing right here, that's the bloodstream. The job of your gut is to keep things out of the bloodstream that shouldn't be there and allow things in that should be there. So the things that get into the gut should come through the cell like this. But what happens is because of things like toxins, exposure to toxins, exposure to things like, genetically modified wheat and gluten and things like that, increased stress, all that causes these tight junctions to break apart. So these things are allowed into your bloodstream that never would be able to normally get in there. So you see these arrows over here. These are things like microbes and toxins getting into the bloodstream that should never be there. And that's what causes all of these things down here at the bottom that I talked about at the beginning. So again, upset stomach, digestive issues, food intolerances that you can't figure out, brain fog, arthritis and joint pain, all of those things are caused by leaky gut. So we're going to show you there's a very specific three-step protocol that allows you to repair your gut lining. So you can actually repair these tight junctions again, and it's very specific, pretty simple. So there's some dietary changes and some supplements that you can do to fix leaky gut. So again, we're going to be doing all of this coming up here in April, and that's going to be our next workshop. So if you haven't been to one before, you'll see these are what we're known for. This is kind of what we're famous for. And if you have been to these before, you can agree with me. There's a lot of great things you're going to get from this. So it's called Younger Tomorrow. It's going to be Saturday, April 12th from 10 to 11:30 a.m. And we're going to give you everything that I have on longevity. We're going to talk about how to activate your natural longevity pathways to reverse your bio age so that you're actually younger than you feel or than you look. So you have a chronological age and a biological age. You can't do anything about the chronological age, but you can actually make yourself younger on the inside. We're going to show you how to do that. We're going to show you how to sleep better, the right type of exercise to do, how to eat the right way to activate these longevity pathways, and then certain supplements that you need to do. So this is a can't miss workshop. And again, I want you to bring someone with you. We want you to end up on the cruise ship, not the nursing home. And we want people around you that you love and care about to end up on that cruise ship because there's no fun being there by yourself. We want you to end up there with people that you love. So think about the 2 or 3 people that you love the most, get them registered for this as well. And we can't wait to see you on Saturday, April 12th.